Welcome to Trifecta Hour. I'm AJ. This is Ink. This is Prince. We in the building. How y'all do on this fine Friday?
It's Friday. I'm here.
Hey, and I'm ready to swing.
Prince, you
Ready
don't have nothing to
to
say?
be black.
Anyways,
Well, see, my voice was all clear till we went live. On May 19th, 1925, Malcolm X was born in Omaha, Nebraska. Oh, I should have brought my book over. A revolutionary, a key voice in the civil rights movement. I am way loud. Bring that down a little bit. There we go. All right.
thank you. It was loud. It's a little loud.
Malcolm X was not only a necessary, Malcolm X was not only necessary. Where did I get A from? Malcolm X was not only necessary, but he was right about so many things, from encouraging Black Americans to pool and build their own wealth to not being nonviolent with people who are being violent with you, to very poignant and clear warnings about the mission of white liberals with regards to their agenda to misleading and controlling the Black community. Malcolm X was about action, radical productivity, and he knew that the government sanctioned integration would still many Black communities across the United States. We already got the receipts, y'all. Malcolm X was more than a man, he was a movement. He stood tall in the face of oppression, unyielding in his pursuit of justice and truth. His words were not just speeches, they were a call to action, a rallying cry for those who felt voiceless in a society that often turned a blind eye to their struggles. He taught us that it is our right to demand respect, to claim our identity, and to fight for our place in this world. Yet, somewhere along the way, many Black Americans lost sight of that fight and caved to handouts and allegiance to the Democrat Party. So, Trifecta Hour. How did you reflect on the legacy of Brother Malcolm? I can never say Brother Malcolm normal. On what would have been his 100th birthday.
I think the saddest part about it is the legacy that was built has now been destroyed and tore down.
Mm,
So when you actually read his autobiography, when you actually understand the story, when you go back and you listen to these speeches, it's it's almost like he is ahead and we are behind.
mm,
And I think that's the saddest part of this. Everything he said stands true. Everything
facts.
he tried to warn us about is happening. Yet here we are, 2025, and people are taking his words out of context. People are, trying to make it sound like he had a victim mentality when he never did, when all he
Mm,
wanted everybody to do was rise above. So I think the takeaway when we were preparing for this show was simply how much knowledge was given to us so long ago that we're not using and utilizing today.
mm,
It just doesn't make sense to me. And I think that's the saddest part of this, right? Is that he gave us a lot of knowledge in
facts.
life and then in death. And then here we are, 2025, still blaming a white man for our problems. But okay. Prince.
I think that Malcolm's legacy is in his personal growth. Like Malcolm, he had so many stages to his life. He had his life as a child when he watched real racism. I mean, clan shit, real stuff, mother, father. He witnessed real racial strife. And on top of all that, he was self educated. He did it all, and like Ink said, in his words, he gave us. It's like we don't want to. It's not like we don't want to use them, but it's like we're afraid to fully embrace being what he wanted us ultimately to be, and that was powerful, to be one. And it's like we're doing everything but do that. So it's like he told us to be strong. He told us to be powerful. He told us to not be reliant on the government, not be reliant on victimhood, not be reliant on the man. And that yet that's what we want to do. Why? Because we're afraid that we're going to have to try. We're going to have to open a book. We're going to have to read a law. We're going to have to interpret a law. We're going to have to work hard. But you know what's easy? Getting that check once a month, signing our name and our freedom away to get extra income. And that's the thing, that's the things that Malcolm was trying to tell us, and he's still telling us in depth. You know how you can know somebody is strong and somebody really is powerful in what they say? When it still resonates now. There's a lot of stuff that we follow and that we adhere to that does not match today. It did not age well. Malcolm's message still is relevant. And that's the
Mhm.
part. We still have it. You have all these clips that you love to use, still spell his name wrong, but you don't really grasp what it is he was trying to say. Everything, and no, Malcolm was peak masculinity. Number one, he was peak in his faith. Number two,
Mhm.
and hello, newsflash, we're gonna get into it later. He was for the black woman and the power that the black woman held.
Mm.
So all you saying you just hate black women and you just hate this, you hate that. Malcolm preached us not to hate each other. He taught us not to hate our skin, not to hate our hair, not to hate our education, not to hate how uncomfortable we make others because we know ourselves. But we're doing the total opposite today.
Well, for me, it was especially watching the old speeches, how people take clips of those speeches and they try to act like the whole context of what he was saying at that time is still relevant today. And you don't look at, especially in 2025, how you contribute to why stuff are still, and we'll get into the clips later, why some things appear to be the same, but they're really not the same for the same reasons. But we'll unpack that later, like I said. The Ballad of the Bullet speech, you can't tell me nothing about it. That's what I went back and listened to. And then also it's really different listening to the audiobook of the autobiography versus reading it, because it's just you hear someone else's interpretation of the words, which it was pretty cool. I appreciated it. But um this is a great testament to a person that had foresight, who probably foresaw that he wasn't going to live very long. So he gave a lot of he put a lot of things in his messages for progress, not for stagnation, not for leaning on government and government programs. It was about do for self, but do for self and be a community. We lost the community part a long time ago. So it's very fractured, it's very segmented, it's very yeah, yeah, whatever. Um all those things. So seeing how the words have stood the test of time, and like Prince said, still a lot is still very relevant to this day, but for me, for different reasons. And it's just a matter of how responsible have you been with what he gave you, what he gave us, I should say. And if you've been irresponsible, which I see a lot of people, especially like one of the videos, I forgot the dude, he was like a doctor or something. And he's like pro blow blackity black black black, and he's posting like all these Malcolm X clips. And I'm like, but you should have just posted the whole speech so you got the full context. Because also within that clip is a bigger message that you didn't give the people. So you're just giving them the part that makes it look like he preaching victimhood to you. But in fact, he's giving you tools and action steps all at the same time, but you ain't listening. So, Brother Malcolm, one area in particular, Malcolm X was absolutely spot on about was white liberals. and how they use black faces to advance their covert agendas. Take a look.
There are many whites who are trying to solve the problem, but you never see them going under the label of liberals. That white person that you see calling himself a liberal is the most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. He's the most deceitful. He's like a fox, and a fox is always more dangerous in the forest than the wolf. You can see the wolf coming. You know what he's up to, but the fox will fool you. He comes at you with his mouth shaped in such a way that even though you see his teeth, you think he's smiling, and you take him for a friend.
There are many whites who act friendly toward Negroes. A fox acts friendly toward the lamb. And usually the fox is the one who ends up with the lamb chop on his plate. The wolf doesn't act friendly, and therefore the wolf has more difficulty in getting the lamb chop in his plate.
I'd like to point out, though, that...
And I say that because it is usually if you study the structure of the Negro community, economically, politically, civically, psychologically, and otherwise, it's controlled by the white liberal, who usually poses as the friend of the Negro.
On the other hand, I think one could point to a large number of whites who have struggled for civil rights, for equality, and have got little or nothing out of it, other than quite a few bruises.
Give me an example.
Well, the large number of white students who have gone into the South, for example, working for SNCC and other organizations.
Not working for SNCC or other organizations, but working for the white political machines who benefit by the voting efforts of Negroes.
Okay. Today, you could point to a large number of Negro leaders who have consistently betrayed Negroes in a whole host of areas.
They aren't really Negro leaders. These are puppets that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals. These are parrots that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals. You can't name me a Negro leader who has been betrayed Negroes, who has not been endorsed, sanctioned, subsidized, and supported by the white liberals.
Prince, do you agree with Brother Malcolm?
Not only do I agree with him, but I wrote this down when I listened back to this whole clip. This is specifically what I wrote. Malcolm X was so unwavering, did not back down in the face of white media or hosts who had one talking point and thought that would be enough to silence Malcolm X. It was always a deeper meaning and a purpose of white participation. I was emotional right here. I had goosebumps for that because what you saw right there was a man that is lacking today. A grown man. Did that man tell him he had pretty legs? No, we're going to talk about that later.
I knew that was coming.
You looked at all 6'4" of a man, and when that host thought he was going to finish and talk his point, Mac was like, no, let me finish because I want y'all to get the whole text of what I'm saying. Absolutely, I agree with Malcolm X on that liberal thing, the white liberals especially, and these so-called leaders, black leaders that have been leading y'all astray. You got one just this week that posed in front of a mediocre ass statue of a fat, obese black woman with a lot of attitude and claimed that she was taking that power back. This is what Malcolm X was talking about. These leaders are endorsed. You think that Quavo, you think that Little John, you think that Meg Thee Stallion showed up because they really want to change things? You think they showed up for Kamala Harris because they really want to change things? No, they showed up because they were endorsed. The check was signed, sealed, and delivered. And what Malcolm is telling you right now is if you look behind some of your most prominent support, there is a greater agenda to make sure that you stay on that plantation. And yet y'all still fall for it every single time. Up until the last minute of Kamala's campaign, everybody was wondering, where was Beyonce? What the hell does Beyonce have to do with FICA? What does she have to do with eggs? What does she have to do with gas? What does she have to do with deportation?
Preach.
Why are y'all concerned with what these celebrities think? You got one in prison for the most horrific shit ever. You got another one singing Trapped in the Closet for the most horrific shit ever. These are your leaders. You got one walking in Costco like he's the like he's the reincarnation of Martin Luther King. Again, Malcolm X gave y'all the blueprint, and it's like y'all don't want the blueprint. It's like, what is it? If a man of Malcolm X's conviction and faith and literally life, the way he lived life, does not tell you what you're doing is wrong and that you are being led down a path of destruction, I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know a better messenger than Malcolm X. He was imperfect, but he was perfect in his change, in his vision of what he want us to be. No, we don't have to follow everything, but the things that he gave, especially in that clip, is right on the money. These white liberals, they are down with you. If you look in your comment section, if a white liberal has ever called you an Uncle Tom, a Sambo, or a sellout,
Prince, you're making some good points, but they're saying your sound is cutting out. Are you going
okay.
through the mic or your MacBook?
No, I'm going through the mic.
I hear him perfect, so I
Yeah.
don't know what's going on.
I could hear some of the cutouts, but it's not like dramatic. But
I
just
don't hear any
Okay.
cutout at all. That's interesting.
mm.
That's
Okay.
the white liberals taking my mic. Nah,
Listen,
go ahead, y'all.
listen. I think what I really took away from that, and to bring it forward today, is nothing that you see is real,
Mm,
right? So if it's in front of you and they're telling you this is what it is and this is how it should be, it's not real. So he uses the white liberal because at the time, guess who has the most power? The white liberal. Their voice was the loudest, their voice was the strongest. So then they took these black figures. So if you even look at today, they only speak on the things that make them money. It doesn't make money, nobody's to be found.
mm,
It doesn't make money, you don't hear, you don't see them, right? So if you today, obviously, the white liberal looks a little different, and the power of the white liberal looks a little different than it did in Malcolm's time,
mm,
because now they're bold. Now they're really bold. Now they're really telling you that you are less than, you don't know what you're going through, you don't know what you're talking about, you should feel this way, your feelings are not valid because I didn't tell you to feel that way. So they're really emboldened right now. And they speak, if you notice too, they speak against anything that seems positive and anything that seems like it can move you forward,
oh
right?
yeah,
So,
oh
so like, if it's like the next thing, right? The next step that could be like, hey, let's unite. Hey, let's come together. Oh, oh, eh, here they come. Scurrying like little roaches. No, 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 that doesn't work. No, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. No, 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 no. And then they want to tell you all the bad things. I mean, right down to the damn gingers are black.
yeah.
They couldn't even let people have a moment with that. Here they come, talking about the oppressions of the black people, everything black people went through, and you could have never gone through that, and you could never understand that, and you could never. Was it that deep? It wasn't that deep.
Right.
They were just
Mm,
saying, you know what? The gingers got picked on. The gingers were on the outside. The gingers were the outs. You know, we understand. We're gonna bring you into the club. Come hang out with us. They turned that into a negative. So anything that could bring unity, anything that could bring us together and not keep us divided, they will always fight against, they will always push against.
mm.
That's why Malcolm X sat right there and rubbed his face, laughed, and said, name one, because he already knew where that was going. That guy was about to tell him what he was thinking, what he was feeling was off base. So that's why he laughed. And then that's why he pointed out every black leader is backed by a white liberal that's on that side. So he was saying a lot, just no one wanted to hear it. And now they take those things out of context. You know, I don't know, party switch, shit, who knows what they will attach it to. I don't even know at this point. Like,
But
whatever,
hey, they
dummies.
make us feel good, so that's why he was bringing up
Who,
celebrities. He was
who,
like, "Calm
who,
down,
no.
Malcolm."
You know what's funny? What celebrity makes you feel good?
I don't know.
Janet.
Okay, go ahead, AJ.
Halle Berry and Monsters Ball. Can you make me feel
Ew.
good?
Got an Oscar
You know what?
because she
and
got
got
plowed by
and,
Billy
and,
Bob.
and and got paid extra per titty.
Oh
But
my
back to
God.
back to the
What happened? What happened? What happened?
It was like 250K each
Okay,
dress.
okay. How did we get here?
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Um,
What
white
happened?
liberals are brilliant. It's very
Mm,
simple messaging. Who doesn't want to plan their parenthood? Very simple messaging, right?
yeah.
Damn the details. They already have all the details planned out. They just need you to co-sign. The welfare state, your over police communities. Every violent city. I went over it on one of my past live streams. Most violent cities in America, top 25, overwhelming majority, 98% were Democrat ran. And hadn't had a Democrat, I mean a Republican in some hundreds 100 years. Y'all mad at the wrong stuff, but I say this all the time. We sit up here and we co-sign what these white liberals are selling. Well, not we, but they. These food deserts, that's your people. That's the people you keeping in your backyard that you keep voting for. Y'all mad that the Trump administration kicked kicking illegals and able-bodied people off of social programs. That should be something you should support. This way, when you do need it, it's there. But no, 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 no. We want more abortions. We want more government control. We want more subsidized housing. We want more subsidized healthcare. All this low quality scraps you want these people to throw at you because poor has become your state of mind. Settling for less has become something you've normalized. It's unacceptable at this point. So yeah, when you sit there, Malcolm can sit there with his legs crossed like Cam Newton and look you in the face and say, "Give me an example." And he didn't let up. He asked again because you tried to act like you didn't hear him. Give me an example. And then you try to bring up these white liberals going to the South. That had nothing to do with giving a damn about black people. That was about control.
Mm-hmm.
This is why you had so many black families give up their land. Yeah, no one's saying the South was all sexy, but if you keep your land, that's different than going to the North for this promised land and you end up on breadlines. So was it worth it? No, it wasn't. The great party switched and no party switched. Blacks just got dumber. That's all that happened. That was the
Nope.
switch.
Speak on it.
The only group in this country, every damn election, the blue line is 90+%. The only group. Everybody else has diversity in their political thought, in their political arenas, in their ideologies. Black folks, one thought, one brain, one Democrat bitch.
Mm,
But AJ's the problem for calling it out because they see it right there in your face. These same people that are saying they love black people, they want to support black people, all this stuff. Why are they calling me a nigger?
Oh, okay.
Oh, you know why? Because they can't control me.
That's what it's
They can't
about.
tell me what to do. I'm not going to co-sign their agendas because I know how it ends up.
Yeah.
When you're challenging black people in these debates about the abortion rates of black women, and they don't want to have the per capita argument because, you know, they per capita everything else, right? Everything else per capita. So we get to abortion. It is not a flex that black women are challenging white women in the amount of abortions they have. There aren't as many black women. And they got
Right.
y'all believing y'all gonna die in birth. Oh my God, you're gonna die in childbirth.
Yeah, the mortality's higher amongst us.
Yeah. But what they don't tell you is that gestational diabetes, preeclampsia is higher in us because we still want to eat at McDonald's. We want to eat until we get that ring across our big ass noses.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Her name was Katrina.
Oh, okay.
No, just that her name was Katrina. I ain't.
Okay.
Um.
Okay.
Anyway.
Oh, no, little AJ stuff. That's my daddy. That's my daddy.
Could you imagine? Oh my
That's
god.
my daddy on the internet.
Being trapped in the projects. Oof, God. I know. Mm-mm. Anyway. Where was I? So they're great at messaging. They're great at keeping it simple because they know you're stupid. They know keep it simple and emotional.
Yes.
That's the operation here. Simple and emotional. And you know what? I just watched this O.J. Simpson documentary. Another one. Yes, another one. That was just released on Netflix. Yes, another one. They just get more fascinating the more documentaries they do on this. But there was a pivotal point in the trial where Chris Darden, the black prosecutor, brought up because they wanted to bring in the whole Mark Furman stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, no. Because he was like, once you say the N-word, black people, everything just goes away, right? That's all they know at that point. They don't care about Ron and Nicole anymore. This is just going to be a sleigh ride to disaster. Who gets up? Johnny Cochran. He fillets Chris Darden. Emotions.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great orator. When Johnny Cochran talks, you listen. Right, he's just one of those people, right? And he articulates very well, and he's very poignant in his storytelling, right? And he gave Chris Darden a verbal lashing, talking about black people are more than that. And then what happened? They introduced the Mark Furman tapes because Judge Ito narrowed it down. He said I think 2 tapes. You could do two clips, N-word, and that was it. What happened? Y'all literally proved Chris Darden right. Y'all didn't give a damn that these people were slashed up, stabbed, arteries bled out on the sidewalk. Y'all didn't care about none of that. Y'all didn't care about evidence at that point. All y'all know is that there was a racist police officer involved.
Mm-hmm.
That part.
Literally proving the point. See how effective they are? Then you get a Johnny Cochran to get up there and coach you back into place. That's you got your Al Sharptons, you got your Benjamin Crumps, you got your Jasmine Crockett's. They get you right back in place as soon as you start asking questions. What do? You see them on the mic, biggest megaphone in the world. White liberals run y'all because they know you're dumb. They make you believe you have power, this false sense of power, but you really don't have power because, as I've said 1 billion times, if you can't change your mind, you don't have power.
Oops.
You know what AJ could do tomorrow? Say he's a liberal.
Yep. You sure could.
They're gonna unfollow me. They're gonna call my job.
Right, and not give a damn. Because I have autonomy over my voice and my narrative. And I can find the nuance and have the discussion on the nuance, not the black and the white. So that's why Malcolm was right in that clip. And it's a damn shame that we could play a clip from the 60s and it's still relevant today. This should be so irrelevant at this point.
It should be.
Except instead of it being Lena Horne, it's Beyonce.
Right.
Instead of it being Jim Brown or any other one is now it's LeBron James. And you notice that the new quote unquote puppets, they're dumber. They're dumber and they have worse reputations.
Jesus. Yeah.
Like you got LeBron James who never got to the next page of the Malcolm X book, the Malcolm X autobiography.
Turn it upside down.
He was a good man. He was legendary. Like,
yep.
When we gonna again, I promise you, if you let these entertainers be what they are in that realm, you will be okay. You will really start seeing stuff for what it is. But the moment you keep looking to the Dwayne Wades, the LeBron James, the Lizzos for your social conscience, you will continue to be fucked.
Right.
There's no other way around. And one other thing I wanted to bring up,
Mm-hmm.
like AJ said that you're emotional. I guarantee you, there's somebody right now that's really squinting really hard to see what my hat says. You don't care about nothing I'm talking about. You want to know what my hat says. You want to know if it says what you think it says. But it does not say make America great again. It says make the hood great again. AJ'sRantRoom.com. But you know what? You're so emotional. You see a red hat with white letterings. Damn, what that black man say? Why he wearing a red hat? He hate himself because he wearing a red hat.
Who taught you to hate yourself?
The
Christmas,
white liberal.
Christmas Forever. I'll speak for myself. I have listened to the whole speech. And clearly you're not listening to us because you want to get mind fucked by liberals and go continue to do that. Because I promise you, if we sent you the invite to bring your ass up here, you will get
That's Kiki.
That's Kiki?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why I'm smiling.
Oh, you will. He'll still get ate the fuck up if you come up here.
That's Kiki.
What? And why the hell is your name Christmas Forever?
A white holiday.
We'll be right back.
My God.
It's always lit over at AJ'sRantRoom.com. We got the best bags and accessories, our beloved Black Series. We got fresh lids for you hat lovers, fire jackets and hoodies, and of course we got you covered on the t-shirts. And introducing our first shoe line, Aloysius Germain. So get on over to AJ'sRantRoom.com today and get to shopping. You won't
be disappointed.
I mean, I could send Kiki the invite.
Oh God.
We're not going to ruin our perfect celebratory
anti-capitalist sentiments. Really, Kiki? Really? So he was pro live off the government. He was pro Shaniqua. He was pro bonnets in the dental office.
Told you.
Shut up, Kiki. In his short life, Malcolm X embodied the spirit of resilience. He rose from adversity, transforming pain into purpose, something that Kiki clearly doesn't know. He faced countless challenges, yet he remained steadfast in his commitment to uplift Black Americans. His journey from Little Malcolm to the fierce advocate for Black empowerment is a testament to the power of self-discovery and determination. What a wonderful world it would be if more actually applied what you imparted before you left. So many conversations around race and community are nuanced, because clearly Kiki doesn't know what nuanced is, because he just wants to have the black and the white conversation. That's why he's screaming in the comments like a psychopath. And what I find is that a good number of folks on both sides are incapable of exploring the different aspects of those issues. For example, here's Malcolm X on over-policing. Take a look.
The police are able to use the press to make the white public think that 90% or 99% of the Negroes in the Negro community are criminals. And once the white public is convinced that most of the Negro community is a criminal element, then this automatically paves the way for the police to move into the Negro community, exercising Gestapo tactics, stopping any black man who is on the sidewalk, whether he is guilty or whether he is innocent, whether he is well-dressed or whether he is poorly dressed, whether he is educated or whether he is dumb, whether he's a Christian or whether he's a Muslim. As long as he is black and a member of the Negro community, the white public thinks that the white policeman is justified in going in there and trampling on that man's civil rights and on that man's human rights. Once the police have convinced the white public that the so-called Negro community is a criminal element, They can go in and question, brutalize, murder unarmed, innocent Negroes, and the white public is gullible enough to back them up. This makes the Negro community a police state. This makes the Negro neighborhood a police state. It's the most heavily patrolled. It has more police in it than any other neighborhood, yet it has more crime in it than any other neighborhood. How can you have more cops and more crime? Why? It shows you that the cops must be in cahoots with the criminal.
I don't know what happened to the visual there, but it I don't know, some weird. I think it's
Did it play at least?
No, the sound was there.
The
but
sound was
it
there.
Just,
Okay.
it's just
Okay.
Whatever. Hopefully they heard it. Yeah, I guess they did because
Okay.
Yeah, they heard it.
Christmas Forever is saying preach. So Inked. Are these statements still relevant to Black communities in 2025?
Well, yeah, I mean, they still committing crimes and they still over police. Let them tell it. So I don't know. I don't live in those crime infested areas, so I don't know how the police are there.
Preach.
But I do know that even in the good areas, we still see the police. It's not like they're not there, and it's not like they don't patrol, and it's not like they don't drive through them.
Mhm.
So I do think that he does have a relevant point. And I do believe that it was designed to make the Negroes, to speak like Malcolm, uh, evil, bad, and that's why everywhere you go and everything you do, there's this stigma attached to you, even though you're none of those things. Um, it's really unfortunate that we haven't changed as a people. It's really unfortunate that we haven't bettered our communities, and it's really unfortunate that we're still doing the same things that we were doing then.
Mm.
So at this point, I blame us. I don't blame anybody else. When there's a problem and you present a solution, they're not trying to hear it.
Mhm.
There's no reason that there should be this type of crime in our neighborhoods when we should be working together. Um, like my father said, during the Jim Crow time, all the Black people worked together. They all stood by each other. They all looked out for each other. They protected their neighborhoods. They weren't robbing from their own. They weren't stealing. They weren't doing all of that. But for some reason now, we fighting over street corners.
That
we
we don't own.
right, that we robbing and stealing from the community store. We don't get a verdict we like. We burn down our neighborhood, not their neighborhood. None of it makes sense to me. So I, I just struggle a little bit when you think about when Malcolm X and the time that he's standing before the people speaking, that literally he could be standing before the people saying the exact same thing all these years later. Like,
Exactly.
when do you evolve? When do you
Right.
become more? When do
Right.
you want more? When do you
Right.
become better?
Right.
This man could literally have the same speech in 2025 and nothing
Mm.
would be different. And that's scary. So, Prince.
Let me ask y'all a question. When
Mhm.
I say Jay-Z, what do y'all think of Jay-Z? What's the first thing that come to mind?
A drug dealer that went
No,
legit.
not you. Think of the regular
Oh,
Black.
my bad. Oh.
How does the regular Black view Jay-Z?
Oh, today or Jay-Z then? Because there's
No,
this.
Jay-Z in general. If I go to in the hood and I ask Raekwon, what do you think of Jay-Z? What is he going to say?
He's rich.
Entrepreneur, mogul,
Mhm.
got it up
Mhm.
out the mud. He sold poison. And now he's on ESPN talking to Stephen A. Smith like he didn't sell poison to your brothers, your sisters, your aunties, your cousins.
He buys art now.
He buys art now.
Mm.
Who? It's great storytelling. What shows get the highest ratings among Blacks? Power. The Shy. P-Valley.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if I was an alien and I was watching TV, hey, tell me about Black people. Here, let me turn on TV.
Mm.
So y'all are sexual, degenerate, gang banging, drug dealing, gender fluid weirdos.
Oh shit.
No longer Bill Cosby, no longer Uncle Phil, no longer James Evans.
Carl
They've been
Winslow.
replaced by Ghost.
Mm.
His son woke up to Ghost having a fucking pistol to his face.
Mm.
That's his father, y'all.
Wow.
These are the communities that we uplift. Me, Ink, the AJ, we're sellouts. We're corny. We're educated. We're trying to be the white man. We live in white neighborhoods.
Mm.
We have the white man's paperwork.
Think
We're
you
not
know
eating
everything?
peanut butter that tears the bread off the bone.
You know what?
We're corny. But
I'm done.
Get you.
and I'm gonna talk about myself right here. I
Oh
released
my
a
God.
video of me getting my doctorate. 3,
Mm.
4, 5 likes. Pookie comes home.
Oh. Yay. Gather up.
Cookout, celebrations,
Yes.
hashtags.
Mm.
AJ, you was right. Malcolm absolutely knew he was not long for this world, and he made sure he gave us the blueprint. And every day we spit in that man's face. Every day.
Mm. Well, I call it the back of the bus syndrome. So remember when, well, we weren't there, but black folks, you know, sat in the back, right? And then we didn't have to do it no more. We kept sitting in the back. So explain to me, like I said in the first block, this should be irrelevant today. Why? Because the overwhelming majority of mayors, police commissioners, chiefs of police look like us in these areas.
Okay.
So maybe Christmas Forever can explain to us how we now have greater representation and the same problems.
Worse,
actually, because not only are we over policed and all that other stuff, but now you're committing more crimes. And now you're protecting the criminals at all costs. So which one is it? Because you have the criminals, you protect the criminals, then you complain about the criminals. Make that make sense. So this goes right back to what he said about the white liberals making you niggas puppets. Get up there. Don't give them any solutions. Like LBJ said, give them just enough. Not enough to make a difference.
Yep.
And that's what y'all keep settling for. Just enough, not enough to make a difference. Attacking the problem from the wrong angle. Not realizing the change, the agents that's supposed to be in there to make the change aren't making the change. So now you got to look in the mirror. That's you now. Oh, we don't want to do that. We want to still blame the white man. It's the white man. It's the white man. Oh, the white man. Oh, the white man. Nah, don't blame no system. That's called an excuse. There's no excuse in 2025. That blaming the white man stuff is done. Here's another nuanced conversation we've all had to have with some of our lightly melanated conservative brothers and sisters. Take a look.
You said lightly, Mel.
Muslims have sometimes, whether you have or not, and I think probably you have sometimes, it seemed to me, been preaching hate to meet hate.
I don't advocate any kind of hate.
But there's a lot of talk that sounds very much like it.
No, I think that the guilt complex of the American white man is so profound until when you begin to analyze the real condition of the black man in America, instead of the American white man eliminating the causes that create that condition, he tries to cover it up by accusing his accusers of teaching hate, but actually they're just exposing him for being responsible for what exists.
Well, that's something of an argument, but I've heard speeches made by some of the people of your group. I think I've heard you make speeches. It seemed to me that you were advocating, well, I would have to describe, I think, as violence to meet the serious injuries that have been done your people, with which I totally agree.
I don't call that violence. I don't in any way encourage black people to go out and initiate acts of aggression indiscriminately against whites. But I do believe that the black man in the United States and any human being, anywhere, is well within his right to do whatever is necessary, by any means necessary, to protect his life and property, especially in a country where the federal government itself has proven that it is either unable or unwilling to protect the lives and property of those human beings.
Just before Pierre takes it, you've got a pretty good fighter in the world's heavyweight champion lined up with you to help.
And okay,
Go ahead, Prince.
sorry, AG. No, did you see what he did again towards the end of that clip? He brought up a celebrity. You see how they try to rope you in? Well, he was talking about Muhammad Ali, y'all, who fell out with Malcolm, by the way. But again, this is what they do. This is what they do. Well, you got a pretty good endorsement from Muhammad Ali. Dude, this is not the conversation we have. And my friendship with Muhammad Ali has nothing to do with this.
Nothing.
We're talking about violence against my people, and you telling my people to be nonviolent while you're being violent towards them. This is what we're talking about. And you bring up Muhammad Ali. So yes, there. And again, you can see it was as clear as black and white. There was no nuanced conversation. Malcolm tried to lead him. This is the lovely thing about Malcolm. He lets them speak, and then he's like, okay, I understand what you're trying to say I'm saying. No. Let me tell you what I mean. I mean this. My people have the right to defend their property and their lives against people that are threatening them with violence. Point blank, period.
Boom.
And what you had the problem with during that pass, again, if you read up on it, whites got used to that MLK way of doing things.
Yes.
And Malcolm came along, and Malcolm was like, no. You don't spit sick dogs on me, beat me with a billy club, and do all this weird stuff, or beat me just because of my color of my skin. And I'm supposed to be like, you know what? I'm gonna turn the other cheek, because maybe you'll stop beating me because I'm praying. Or you'll stop beating me because I tell you to stop beating me. Malcolm was beat them. Return force by any means necessary. But once again, it ended up being about his friendship with a celebrity.
Well, all that, and all you got out of that was I'm friends with Muhammad Ali. Go ahead, Ink.
I don't think it's necessarily that. What he was trying to do was demonize him in that moment. So that's why he said, well, it seems you're supporting violence, right? So when he brought up Muhammad Ali, it was a diffusion, right? Because he could feel the conversation get a little hot. He can feel the tension. So what he was trying to do is break, well, you get because they always have to take the one that's not pushing against the narrative, right? The one that's going along with whatever they're saying. So that's why he was basically saying, well, Muhammad Ali agrees with me and you're friends with him, so why don't you know what I'm saying? That's essentially what was happening. But the reality is, Malcolm, he was not MLK. It was that was over here. That was, that freedom ring. Okay, we gonna be peaceful. We gonna speak real good. We gonna sound good. We gonna look
really
good.
well.
Okay, really well. Thank you. We gonna sound good. We gonna look good. But then we gonna come back over here and over here, we gonna sound good and look good, but we gonna beat that ass if we need to. Let's be clear, okay? Don't get us twisted. I believe there's a song that says I'm a nigga first, always. That's what we was getting over here. That's what that was happening over here. So Malcolm was basically saying, listen, don't start none, won't be none.
Correct.
You act right, we act right. But if you think you gonna punk us, no, that's not how this is work. I'm not condoning violence, but I am condoning self-defense. I am condoning protecting yourself. I am condoning not letting people just kick your teeth out your mouth and do nothing.
Amen.
And I think that was probably the hardest thing that people had with him, because for one, they couldn't bully him into saying and doing what they wanted him to do. He was always going to stand on business. He was always going to be forthcoming and truthful and honest in what he said. If he said it, he meant it. He said it with his whole chest. He wasn't going to back down. He didn't care who was saying it. He didn't care where he was. He didn't care who the audience was. No, it's what I said. It's not what you're talking about something I ain't talking about. And I think at the time we had two, revolutionary people in two different ways, right? So we had one that was trying to unify us and bring us all together and hope that we could all get along. And then there was the other one that was like, yeah, that sound good. But in the reality, we know we ain't all going to get along. So with that being said, make sure you kick the bastard in his teeth.
Damn.
To remind him, we don't all get along. And you can't punk us over here. So, I mean, that's really what that was. And I think, too, probably more people relate to Malcolm because we're more of a realist, right? We're more of a, like, I don't care if you like me.
Not at all.
Respect me, right? And that's Malcolm was more like, you don't have to like me, but you're going to respect me. And that's the real reality of it.
That was
Go
a
ahead,
good,
AJ.
yeah. You said a mouthful towards the end there.
To quote one of Brooklyn's finest, Lil' Kim, stand behind Martin Luther King, but I'm more like Malcolm X. Gorillas beating on their chest. Get it right on Malcolm X. Listen, if you throw a pot of hot coffee in my face, I'm not inclined to sit there and be nonviolent with your ass. And this is why I try to impart on some of the people on all sides of the lesser melanations is that just because we are on the same side politically doesn't mean I'm going to agree with you all the time. And if your retort is to be an asshole to me, I'm going to be a bigger asshole. I don't give a fuck that we both voted for Trump. I don't give a fuck that we're both Republicans. I don't give a fuck about any of that.
Yep.
It's about respect first. There are liberals who respect me, walk in a room, have the same conversation I can have with anybody else. And then there are those who can't. You will all get treated the same. I don't give a damn about what side I'm on. It's about respect. So if you disrespect me, the energy will match. If
Sometimes
not,
exceed.
I was just about to say that. If not, get a little excessive. Because, we tend to do a lot sometimes. But either way, you earned it. Because like I say, I would rather love you than punch you. But if I have to, so be it.
Okay.
Rest your soul. Now, let's test out this take from Malcolm X on women. Take a look.
I'm aware of in my traveling recently through Africa and the Middle East. In every country that you go to, usually the degree of progress can never be separated from the woman. If you're in a country that's progressive, the woman is progressive. If you're in a country that reflects a consciousness toward the importance of education, it's because the woman is aware of the importance of education. But in every backward country, you'll find the women are backward. And in every country where education is not stressed, it's because the women don't have education. So one of the things I became thoroughly convinced of in my recent travels is the importance of giving freedom to the woman, giving her education, and giving her the incentive to get out there and put that same spirit and understanding in the children. And I frankly am proud of the contribution that our women have made in the struggle for freedom. And I'm one person who's for giving them all of the leeway possible because they've made a greater contribution than many of us men. And one of the best ways that they can help is to encourage the man, try and inspire him to be more militant and turn him away from being non-violent and passive and meek and Uncle Tomish. Make him aware that the black woman wants to see her man be a man instead of around here using religion as an excuse to be a coward and some of the things that he's been reflecting here lately.
Freedom by any means necessary was the battle slogan of Malcolm X, for he knew that in America the condition of the vast majority of the 22 million black people
is very close to the condition of 11 million Africans under the fascist South African regime.
I forgot to cut out Prince Kamunga at the end there, but inked Truth or Fiction.
Might have been true then.
Ooh.
Might have been true then.
You don't
But
want a
that
man
ain't.
with a bone broth?
No.
You like it? It's autumn sunrise.
Listen,
Damn, baby.
listen.
Ah,
I'm
oh
gonna
my
say this.
God.
I'm gonna say this. I will agree that women want men,
Mhm.
but in 2025, less women want real men.
Mm.
They men wearing dresses. They men painting their nails. They men got bone broth hair. They men's clothes is tighter than theirs. There's a whole lot going on in 2025 that wasn't going on there. Secondly, I'm gonna say most black women don't uplift their men.
Mm.
Not even, I don't care if they're black, purple, green, yellow. It's not happening. They're so busy twerking. They're so busy showing up at the church naked. They're so busy being independent. They're so busy telling you they don't need a man. They're so busy having 14 baby daddies. They so busy sucking life out their body. They so busy listening to Glorilla and whoever the hell these bitches are, that they've lost their way. So when you inspire to be like the music you listen to, you're never focused. Now, don't get me wrong. There's still some getting educated. There's still some on the right path. There's still some that understand. But the women today don't look like they did then.
Mm.
Mm-mm.
They really don't. That's why you have more and more women telling you they don't want to have kids, that they're focused on their career. You see, so like they're not wanting to build a family. They're not wanting to build a unit. They're trying to build independence and be greater and better than a man. So that's the real problem, right? So women are not just thriving in their space, they're trying to thrive in a space that they can't exist in. And that's where we've lost our way. That's why men are becoming women. And that's why they want us to get behind that. That's why they want us to support men in women's spaces, because they're trying to demasculate the man to bring the woman up. That's why they keep telling us we can have a woman president. See all that bullshit? That's why they keep preaching that. That's why they keep preaching the bullshit. When the real reality is this country cannot function without men. I do believe that women contribute. I do believe that women bring value, but only when they're healthy, not when they're toxic. And there's so many toxic women trying to destroy men, trying to break men down, trying to tell men what they should and shouldn't be. If you cry, you're weak. If you don't cry, you don't show your emotions. You're not there's all these craziness that exists. So I do think Malcolm was on the right path, but you cannot bring that forward to today.
Mm.
We are so far gone. We're so far removed from that and how he viewed it. Because like you said, you go in these countries, women are educated. That's because, if the education is important, that's because women are educated.
Mm.
If it's backwards, it's because the women are backwards. You know what I'm saying? And again, a lot of women aren't in the home to raise the children. A lot of women are out, working, and it just looks different today. Society looks very different today.
Facts.
But I think creating the independent woman was probably the most dangerous thing that you could have done.
Mm.
So when you have the woman that says and believes she doesn't need a man, that's dangerous.
Mm.
When you have the woman that's educated and she thinks because of her education, she doesn't need a man, that's dangerous. If you have a woman that's educated and believes that the man that's not educated is not good enough, that's dangerous. So we put a lot of value on things that don't matter. I saw a guy make a video that said, "Women, would you date a man who made less than you? And if you would, tell me why. And if you wouldn't date a man who made less than you, tell me why."
Mm.
So all of a sudden, all the value of a man is based on how much money he has in a bank account.
Yep.
All the value of a man is based on what he can provide for you. But there's no value placed on the woman and what that bitch can provide. Can that hoe cook? Can she snatch your soul? Like, I don't understand.
Oh yeah, you
Like,
said it better because I was trying to find the words for that.
yes, right. Can she snatch your soul from your body? Can she do that? Because If not, what are we doing, right? We want all these things from men, and we demand all these things from men, and we expect men to be a certain way, yet we don't want to give you anything. And that is the independent woman. If you really think about it, the woman who says, I bring the table, I bring this, I bring that, the bitch can't cook. The bitch is a dead corpse. The bitch can't get her own soul, let alone yours. There's a lot of things. So I would say Malcolm had truth in Malcolm's time. 2025 is fiction. Go ahead, Prince.
Well, number one, back then, did you see how attentive the man was listening to a real alpha speak? There was no cell phones. There was no distraction. There was no woman up there with her titties out. So the man is paying more attention to her than what Malcolm is saying. Men were men and women were women. Like you said, it was just a different time then. But the essence of what Malcolm was saying was 100% correct. Men, and I know some men are gonna be mad because I know some of you are super over masculine. You're the super alpha. You're the super alpha wolf and all this stuff.
Alpha wolf.
There is nothing like the support of a woman that has your back.
Amen.
It's nothing like it. You feel like you can move mountains. James Evans was broke economically, but emotionally, I mean, though sometimes Florida was the villain. George, look at all the sitcoms back in the day. George, James,
yeah,
Uncle Phil, Carl Winslow. What did they all have? Bill Cosby. They had a strong woman that believed in them and made them feel like they can do anything. The only thing that Clara always used to get on my nerves about, the same thing my wife get on my nerves about, is his diet. Telling you what he can eat, what he can't eat. Other than that, they backed them. And the men empowered them to also do what they needed to do. It wasn't you ain't shit. You making $3.75 an hour. I know you working 10 other jobs, but why can't we be like them over there? Why can't you be like Ghost? Why can't you sell bricks and bring it in? Like they wasn't. The woman wanted the man to really be the lead and be the head. And that man took that responsibility and he treated it as such. Now, you got men with 8 or 9 different kids. That's the look of masculinity, broken homes. You got women with their titties out. You got women that's showing their body to everybody but they man. Every other man can tell you how good your woman is in bed but you.
Okay.
That's what Ink meant. Is she taking your soul? No, but she took Daryl's soul. She took Ronald's soul. She took his soul. I work hard and I come home and I gotta be told, you ain't getting none tonight because you tired, either from Donald, Ronald, or Harold, or the lawnmower
Bobby,
2000.
Ricky, Mike, Ralph, Johnny too.
Women have to be women again.
Not the lawnmower.
And Malcolm, what Malcolm said back then, it was right for that time, but the essence of what he said is correct now. Men got to step up, but most importantly, women, come closer. You need men. You need us. Believe that. And that's not going to change.
That's a great Jill Scott song. Y'all know that song,
yes,
right? Facts, I Need You by Jill Scott. Beautiful song. She's like, I could do
it's amazing.
all this stuff, but
AJ
I still
always
need
knows
you.
the songs, but don't know the movies. It's quite fascinating.
You know, he can't.
Did y'all see you saw my throwback picture last week? You know what my life was. Music.
Okay.
It was music.
Yeah, I saw it. I was producing. I was there. Yeah. But anyways, go ahead.
Music. To quote Madonna, makes
he
the
can
people
quote
come
Madonna,
together.
but he's never seen
the
Pretty
man's
Woman.
movie gap is Avengers, Sinners.
Damn.
Okay.
That's pretty bad. No, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, that is pretty bad.
He can quote Madonna, but he's never seen Pretty Woman.
Oh, well, argue with me at 9 a.m. about Madonna being better than Paula Abdul.
Okay. All right. Continue.
First of all, how is that even a conversation? Malcolm X, I'm sorry. How is that even a
Okay,
conversation?
let's get back to it. We could be petty later. We could
Madonna,
be petty
Paul
later.
Abdul.
We could be petty later.
Anyway,
I
what
don't
was
know.
I
What
gonna
were you gonna
say?
say?
Oh yeah, so Cheryl Underwood, the comedian, she said it best recently when Shannon Sharp asked her, even though you might make more money than him, are you the head of the house?
Yes,
She's like, no, 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 no. He's the head of the household. I am here for discernment and concurrence. I'm not here to tell him what to do. I don't give a damn if he works at the grocery store.
that's
He's the
part.
leader. And I think that's where a lot of people lose their way. You don't want to go on a first date and hear about everybody, hear about all your fucking accolades. And that's what a lot of people, man or woman, you live through your accolades. That's just a bonus. You can't
Yeah,
take that shit with you. Nor is it a long-term thing that's going to keep people. And if you mess around with no discernment, you're going to have the wrong people around you, advising you to make bad decisions. But, you a strong, independent woman. You can do whatever you want. She could be 50-something years old, running around here like Tracy Ellis Ross, pretending to be happy. Lonely, childless, faking it. Because the fact that you have to talk about it so much proves how unhappy you are. Because if you are just genuinely happy with that decision, you ain't got to talk about it all the time.
Yep.
It just shows. People experience it in you. They do. I know people generally did not want children and didn't have them. They not bringing it up every 3 seconds. Every interview they do, they talking about it. No, it just wasn't my lot in life. I'm good. So yeah, you can make more money, but there's still another good example, CeCe Winans. She's another good example. Her husband's a pastor. They've been married forever. And I remember she said that one of her brothers pulled her aside on wedding day. Still remember, you are a wife. And she's like, that resonated with me because it's easy to get, hell, I'm CeCe Winans. I'm the most Grammyest winningest gospel singer ever. I'm known all over the world. Blah, 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 blah. No, that's my husband. That's my, I am concurrence. She understood that. That's why she's able to be successful. Because it's not about her ego. It's not about her. And that's why he stayed. That's why Alvin's still there. She ain't beating him over the head with her Grammys every day. I sang with Whitney Houston. I sang with this person. I've been here. I've been at this award show. I was at the Grammys. You saw me. I'm successful. You think that's what they talking about in their off time? No, that's not what they're talking about. That is
Nobody
irrelevant in
cares.
their off time. Oh, you see all my Dove awards?
It's a job.
You see all my Stellar awards? You see my number ones? Like nobody cares.
It's a job.
It's a job. You went to work. You were successful at your job. Great. Do your children like you? Does your father pick up the phone when you call him?
Hello.
Okay, then it don't matter. You can have all the accolades in the world, but nobody likes you. Anyway,
We'll be right back.
where are we? Oh, we will be right back. All right, now it's time to get petty.
Whatever happened to her big ass?
She lost her lawsuit. Anyways, my petty goes out to you trifling funky bitches who
Oh,
lie to us and tell us your hair is real, but your leave out is nappy. Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's not my real petty. I'm not kidding, but that's not my real petty.
texture 1, texture 2, texture
That's
3.
not my real
Go
petty, but I
ahead.
am not kidding. Please don't do that. Anyways, we see it. It's obvious. And okay, you know what? Let me move on. Who thinks that they can dox people? And then when all of your information gets out there, including your social security number, we're supposed to feel bad for you.
Oh,
See, this is what happens when
oh
you mess with
my.
the wrong people who just don't care, who are not going to get up off your neck. They find out all of your information.
Right.
Literally, your social security number is now on the dirty web, and you're crying and think that we should all feel sorry for you. But when you were giving out my friend's information, you didn't care. Y'all was saying it with your whole chest. Y'all
Mm,
was barking like it was a thing to do. But now that all your information is being exposed, now that all you guys' shit is being put out there, now that y'all's addresses is being put out there, now we're supposed to feel sorry for you. Let me just make something clear. I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
mm,
I don't even feel a little bit bad for
mm.
you because you know what? You didn't feel bad for my friend. You put my friend's fucking address out there. You put my friend's whole fucking government name out there. You was talking mad shit. You was telling people how big and small her house was. Y'all had a good old time talking about my friend. You hoes did that.
Wow.
And you expect now for somebody to give a fuck? I don't care. I don't care if somebody gets 75 fucking credit cards in your name. I don't care if they buy a car, a house, and a small boat. I do not care. I don't care. I don't feel bad for you. I don't care if they're talking about your kids. I don't care if they're talking about your dad, mama. I don't care what they're doing. I don't even
Mm,
care anymore. See, I used to feel bad for people. I used to feel, like, you know what? Maybe this is not so nice. But now I'm seeing that the very people who thought they can fuck over my friend thinks that now I'm not going to say I'm going to speak for myself, should feel bad for them.
mm,
I got y'all
mm.
in the comments on my video section, my videos. I go, oh, what's going on with this investigation? Listen, the FBI's on you guys is nuts. Okay, all
Damn.
this doxing y'all been doing, it's all gonna come to light. It's all gonna come to fruition, and we're gonna be over here free. You know why we're gonna be free? Because we didn't dox nobody.
Mm,
We're not out here looking at people's information. We're not inside people's discords giving out people's personal information. Y'all done lost your whole minds in these discords. Y'all done pass out naked pictures and everything else. Y'all done lost your whole minds. But I want to make it clear. I'm putting it out here publicly right now. I don't give a fuck. Okay? I'm saying it with my whole fucking chest. I don't give a fuck that your social security number's out there. I don't give a fuck that they're
mm.
making accounts with your fucking kids. I don't give a fuck. Y'all thought it was cute to make a fucking profile of my friend's dead sister? Y'all thought that was cute, remember?
Wow.
Y'all thought that was cute. Y'all thought that y'all was doing something.
Wow.
Rachy fat poo. Y'all thought you was doing something. Trey, fucking
Wow.
cherry cola, fucking tacos.
I hate these
Y'all
men.
thought y'all was doing something. But now that the shoe fucking siren, now that the shoe is on the other foot, now that all your fucking information, now that your fucking coochie and your titty pics is being sent to your kid's school, now that all this shit's being fucking out, now that your social security number's out, now all the shit's happening to you, you want me to give a fuck? I don't give a fuck. Okay? There you go. Now you guys heard it from me out my fucking mouth. I don't want to hear it in nobody's live. Don't be talking about me in Bowl's live. I don't give a fuck. You reap
Mm.
what you sow. Karma is a motherfucker. And y'all's karma is October. Enjoy.
Mm. Damn. How do we
It'll be
follow
on the
that?
petty. Get ready. Inked will be bringing
I'll
it to you. You don't even have to worry. Go ahead. You know.
My petty goes out to the Target shopper that
Oh.
delivered my stuff yesterday.
Oh.
You raggedy bitch.
Oh. What happened?
First of all, you forgot my peach and mango
Okay.
salsa.
I still got yours.
Then when I
Yeah.
then when I text, you still have it?
No.
Y'all haven't eaten it? Why not? That
try
shit
it.
is good.
Not that one, but no.
Is it still any good? Anyway, then when I text you about it, no hello, AJ. No, just start talking. I have a thing with professional text. When I say your name, why didn't you say my name back? That's the first thing I picked up on. Second thing, you try to you said you scanned it and put it in the bag. Well, if it was in the bag, wouldn't I have said why am I here if it's in the bag? So clearly between you scanning and putting it somewhere, it didn't end up with me. Anyway, also, I asked for a specific vegan ice cream. I wanted the strawberry shortcake Ben & Jerry's vegan. And it said, if it wasn't there, text the shopper. I'm at the customer. No. She didn't text. She just substitute cheesecake with fish food. What? I didn't even know what the hell fish food was. I don't know the flavor. It's like marshmallows. What? It was vegan, but it was disgusting. It's like chocolate with marshmallows and chips, and it's disgusting. One star and leave me alone forever. Prince.
My petty is to Joy Taylor and her surgeon.
Huh?
I've never seen.
First of all,
I've never seen anybody get as much mileage on their titties as Joy Taylor. Those titties are well earned because every time you open your mouth, if it wasn't for your titties, you will not be in front of anybody. You are the reason why men need to just Netflix and chill you until your last dying breath. You are incapable of being with anybody. You are Tracy Ellis Ross, but with no ass. Like nobody wants to be with you because you're insufferable. You don't make any sense. You're just like some women are just destined to cease to exist, and their last dying breath will be from the Lawnmower 3000 because it's just no man wants to deal with that. And when you're an aggressive 7 like she is on a good day, and you have that attitude like you're a 12, like it's just that just shows me the people that you mess with and the level of gaslighting they giving you. Because again, if you look at before and after of Joy Taylor, you will see the one on the left is the one that didn't have a lot to say. The one on the right is just bonkers. So that's my petty. Joy Taylor, Impossible. You and your mangoes, your peanut butter skin, and your big rack, go away.
Okay. AJ, I just got some Ben & Jerry's strawberry cheesecake. It just wasn't vegan. That's my favorite flavor.
I never.
Oh my
had
God,
it.
it's
I
my
was excited
favorite.
to
enjoy your
try
fish
it.
food.
Okay.
Fish food. Anyway,
Oh my God, you didn't read my thing?
It's always lit over at ajsrantroom.com. We got the best bags and accessories, our beloved Black Series. We got fresh lids for you hat lovers, fire jackets and hoodies, and of course we got you covered on the t-shirts. And introducing our first shoe line, Aloysius Germain. So get on over to ajsrantroom.com today and get to shopping. You won't.
My bad.
Hell no, you
Okay.
selling my shit.
Me.
Now it's time for our memes of the week.
I want that old thing back.
Me too. You know what? I'm gonna have my cousin put a mix on it. All
Yeah,
right, let's
go
go.
take
Now it's time for our memes of the week. Now it is Malcolm X episode. Is Malcolm X birthday is past. You have to know this scene. AJ, give him the script.
Burnt off his head when he starts splashing that water.
Oh, it's starting to heat up, shorty. Starting to heat up. Oh my God. The water don't
The
work.
toilet.
Hey, nigger, get your head out of the shit bowl.
This is the perfect meme. I couldn't get that one, but this is the one where Benny approaches him in jail and tell him to take that shit out of his head. Yeah, this is the jail one.
this
That's
is the
Benny
jail
talking
one.
to him in jail.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
that's
In the
right. In
shower,
the
yeah.
shower. In the shower. That's right. That's right. Okay,
Hey,
now
me.
it makes sense. Now it makes
Requirements:
sense.
6 feet, 6 figures, 6-pack ass, 6 inches. Damn. No baby mamas, handsome, Bentley, good in bed, mind reader. The man's requirement: peace. And the dog want peace too,
Amen.
because you know those 3 badass kids be fucking with that dog. Look at the dog. He don't want
Wow.
nothing to do with them kids. Look at him. He like,
Tell him
and you
all
know
and
what's
you know
funny?
what?
Put him to
The
sleep.
man that wants peace doesn't have any kids. And Shaniqua is bringing 5 to the table. That's what she's bringing to the table. 5
All
damn
right.
kids. Next meme.
Damn, why you gotta be hating?
Oh yeah. Property tax, sales tax, income tax. Here go your check coming in the door. About to get hoes. Swiss cheese. You got FICA. You got Social Security. You got state tax, federal tax, child support. What else? Egg tax, gas tax, weave tax, lash tax. You got
Sales
all the
tax.
taxes. Goodbye, check.
Goodbye. See you
Next
later,
meme.
alligator.
Now this one is for all
Wow.
you people out there.
Wow.
Y'all complain about bad bananas, bad watermelon, bad ice cream, but you eat ass.
I'm done.
First of all, this judgment
Hit
is a
dogs
little
will holler,
harsh.
but you eat ass, but you won't eat the brown
Ain't nothing
banana.
wrong.
And first of all, if you're a man and you're eating a whole banana, that's a problem.
Okay.
Break it
Okay.
off or eat it in
Okay.
another room. Do not eat a whole banana in front of another.
Here we
So would
go.
you rather you got pretty legs, or would you rather
Eat the
have eat the
banana.
banana?
Next meme.
Okay.
I'm done.
Tell another grown man. Like, come on, man. Oh, I didn't pick this one, y'all, but hey,
Wow.
Disney
Wow.
is not above reproach. This is what they would do. The next Malcolm X movie would either star Tom Hanks or it would star or it'd be an action movie with Tom Cruise.
I'm done.
Well,
You
shit,
know
they
Oh
what?
made
my God.
Abraham Lincoln a vampire hunter. Why not? Why not?
Wait,
Let's go.
a Spike Lee joint.
Is those
Oh,
memes?
those were the memes.
All right, now it's
You okay over there?
now it's time for our Urban Dictionary word of the day.
Okay. So, because some people are confused, leave out. The hair that is left out to cover the tracks of a sew-in to blend with the extensions. Okay, so let's recap. The hair that is left out to cover cover
We
cover
need a visual. We
cover
need a
the
visual.
tracks of the sew-in. Okay, now we know that it's supposed to be your hair. Okay, we get it. But here's the kicker. To blend. To blend. One more time. To blend with the extensions.
Oh
Okay.
God.
I don't know
Jesus.
anybody. Okay.
Oh my
I don't
god.
know. I don't know
Oh my
anybody.
god.
That's about
Oh
right
my
too.
God.
I don't know anybody who has multiple textured hair where it's super silky straight at the bottom and kinky nappy at the top. I've never seen it before. Well, I have seen it. This is the first time in my life that I've witnessed people who grow hair out of their head in two different textures. So I don't know if it's the bottom is still relaxed and the top needs a touch up. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to tell you one more time. Leave out the hair that is left
Oh
out
my
to
God.
cover the tracks of a sew in. And I know your tracks are clip ins. They're not sewn in. They're like those tape ins. So I get it. To blend with the extensions. Sue me, bitch. Send the motherfucking police to my house. Cease and desist these nuts.
Woo.
Okay, go ahead.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. We're we're back on our regularly scheduled.
Say goodbye.
Episode 94 is loading. We out. Oh wait. Happy birthday, Malcolm X. We appreciate you for everything you've contributed. Thank you so much. And now
It's
episode
loading.
94 is loading.